Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make a fresh fruit tart with mascarpone as the filling rather than creme patissiere or pastry cream, and I'm going to use blueberries, raspberries, strawberries and kiwi fruit, but any fruit you want you can use basically. And for the pastry I'm simply going to make a short crust pastry. It doesn't take very long at all really, you do have to chill it before you roll it out and bake it. So I'll go straight onto the ingredients, and as I said, I'm going to use kiwi fruit, strawberries, raspberries and blueberries, and I estimate that I won't need more than about a pound of that fruit altogether, or maybe a pound of the soft fruits, and then kiwi fruit peeled and sliced to fit the mood. And then for the mascarpone filling I'm going to use 60 grams of white chocolate, which is about 1/3 of a cup, and I'm going to use 165 grams, 3/4 of a cup of mascarpone. I'm going to use 5 or 6 teaspoons of lime juice, a pinch of salt, 60 millilitres, 1/4 of a cup of double cream, and then to brush over the top I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of apricot jam with a tablespoon of water, and I'll heat those up and mix those together. And then for the pastry I'm just going to put the mascarpone and the cream back into the fridge because we don't need that for quite a while, and take out for the pastry 150 grams of butter, which it's unsalted butter, and I have cubed it and it's cold. I have 2 egg yolks, medium eggs, that would be large in the USA. I have 250 grams, 1 2/3 cups of plain flour, the seeds from 1 vanilla pod, and 1 cup, 100 grams of icing sugar. Just for interest, I chopped up the vanilla pod case and put that into a jar with some sugar. I already have other ones in there, and that just creates a nice vanilla sugar over a period of time. So the first thing to do is to make the pastry, and I'm going to use my immersion blender for that. You can do it in a normal food processor, or you can do it by hand by rubbing the butter into the flour and the sugar. So I'm going to put the flour and the sugar into the immersion blender. And I'm going to give that a little bit of a stir around first of all. And then I'm going to put the vanilla bean seeds in as well. And I'm going to just blitz those a little bit to get it more thoroughly mixed. That's good enough, like that. And then I'm going to put my butter in, and I'm going to blitz this, pulsing it repeatedly until the butter is incorporated into the flour and we have a sort of breadcrumb like or a sandy type texture. And that's good like that. That's nice texture, and the butter is broken up. There may still be a couple of slightly larger pieces in, but that's fine. And so then I'm going to put my egg yolks in, and I'm going to blitz it and pulse it again until it all starts to clump together into a ball, or into big clumps at least. So that's clumping together quite nicely. So I'm going to then tip that out onto some plastic wrap. And I'm just going to give that a few squeezes, pulling it together. And where I can see some of the seeds are still clumped, I'm just going to spread those in a little bit. And that's not necessary, but so as you can see, that comes into a dough very, very easily. And without working that too much, I'm simply going to press that down into a disc, and there you can see the seeds. So I press that into a disc, and I'm going to wrap that in the plastic wrap, and I'm going to put that into the fridge and chill it for about 45 minutes. And then when I come back, I'm going to roll it out and put it into a 9-inch, 23cm fluted tart tin and prepare it for blind baking. So I'll be back with you in 45 minutes when this is ready to roll out. So it's been 45 minutes and the pastry has been chilling in the fridge. So I've taken it out and put it onto a floured work surface, and I'm going to roll it out so that it fits into my cake, or my tart tin, and that would need to be probably about 14 inches in diameter. And then I'm going to roll it up onto the rolling pin, and carefully place it into the tin, lifting the edge to push it down. And if it cracks, you can patch it, that's fine. So that has just fallen off there, that bit. And then I'm going to simply trim off the excess, like that. There's a bit there that needs patching, I think. and I'm going to cover that again with a plastic wrap, and I'm going to chill it for a further 20 minutes while I preheat my oven to 180 Celsius, that's 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And at that point we'll be ready to blind bake the pastry, so I'll come back when we're ready to do that. So the oven is preheated and the pastry has been chilling in the fridge while that's happened. So I've got some parchment paper here which I'm putting into the pastry case, and I'm then going to pour in some baking beans. Like that. And then I'm going to put that into the oven and I'm going to bake it for 12 minutes. And after 12 minutes I'm going to take it out and remove the parchment paper and the baking beans and put it back into the oven, put the pastry case back into the oven and bake it for about another 15 minutes until the base has dried out and it's changed colour slightly. Then I'll take it out and let it cool down, and when it's cooled down completely I'll come back and we'll go on to the next step. So the pastry case is now baked and it has cooled down. So what I'm going to do is to make the mascarpone white chocolate and double cream filling, and for that I've put 1/4 cup of which is 60 millilitres of double cream into a bowl, and into that I'm going to put my 60 grams of white chocolate, and I'm going to heat that in 10-second bursts, stirring between each burst in the microwave until the chocolate is melted and has incorporated into the cream. So that's the chocolate and the cream melted together nicely. What I'm going to do is take about 1/3 of my mascarpone and I'm going to whisk that into that mixture. That will cool it down a little bit, and then I'll put the other 2/3 in and whisk it together. So I'm going to add my pinch of salt in and my lime juice. And then the remainder of the mascarpone. And simply break that up and whisk it. And that's good. So then I'm simply going to put that into my pie crust, which is here, and I'm going to spread it around. And with that white chocolate in it, it will actually begin to seize and set up quite quickly. Just like that. And the next thing I'm going to do is simply to take the fruit and lay it in Now I have sliced my kiwi fruit, so I'm going to put that around the outside, but you, as I say, you can use any fruit you want and just lay it on the top of the mascarpone. Oops, trying not to make a mess of it. Like that, and then take whatever fruit you want after that and fill it in. So with the tart filled however you wish, I've then got some apricot jam mixed with that water, which I have just diluted and heated up a little bit. I'm just going to gently dab the tops of the fruit to give them a little bit of shine, and with that glazed like that, I'm going to put it into the fridge and I'm going to chill it for 30 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll cut it and have a taste. So I've chilled the tart for 30 minutes and I've cut a slice of it. So this is what it looks like, and it sets up quite nicely. That chocolate firms up with the mascarpone as it chills. So I'll have a taste of the slice that I've cut. The pastry is nice and crisp, and the mascarpone and white chocolate is silky smooth, and it has the tang from the lime zest, the lime juice as well. Very, very nice. And then of course the fresh fruit, which we know tastes good anyway. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to this recipe, and I'll put a link for it below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.